Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance. Today's tool review, or maybe you want to call this a tool talk. I'm going to talk about this Dewalt oscillating tool, but I'm also going to talk about how I'm going to use it as being someone who is normally in the M12, M18. You guys know I typically run Milwaukee tools. Now, I'm not against running other tools. I just do it primarily because I only have so much space in my truck for chargers and batteries. I don't want to have a bunch of different brands. I realize that sometimes there is a tool out there of another brand that might be better than Milwaukee's, or maybe you're in some other brand and Milwaukee's version of something's better. But unless it's like leaps and bounds above, or it's a tool that, Milwaukee doesn't even carry, I tend to just go ahead and stay in Milwaukee just because it's easier to outfit that way. But I just couldn't bring myself to spend the money on the Milwaukee M18 oscillating tool that I was kind of wanting for a specific purpose. And that's where this Dewalt one comes in. I made a community post asking if this was like the Dewalt oscillating tool that I needed to get as far as the model, because there's multiple ones. There's like Atomic and all those kinds of things. I think the Atomic one's even on sale for $99 as well, with maybe a bigger battery. But this kit right now is on sale for $99 on Home Depot, Lowe's, Amazon, all those places. It's the DCS356C1. It comes with the oscillating tool, also a battery charger and the bag. So again, for $99, I didn't feel like it was that bad of a deal to be getting this oscillating tool, this bag, a charger. Also, it's only a 1.5 amp hour battery. I'm not sure how long that would last in this tool here. You also get a couple different blades and a couple adapters laying down in here somewhere. So I'm going to sell, the charger, the battery, and the bag. I have no use for that. I don't have very many Dewalt tools. So if I look at $99 for this entire kit, and then whatever I sell that for, or maybe I give it to somebody who I know that runs Dewalt tools, whatever it is, and take that off this price, I'm going to get it for even cheaper than that. And that's the reason why I wanted to look into this one, because I normally, again, run the M12. I've never bought the M18 oscillating tool, but there's been some times where I go through an entire house cutting off door jambs for flooring or whatever it might be, and it's just, it eats up these batteries pretty good. Even if you run the 5.0s or 6.0s, you still run through some batteries. I was wanting to get something where I could use my bigger M18 batteries, maybe get some more runtime, those kinds of things. But the Milwaukee M18 oscillating tool, especially the fuel version, runs $229 or something like that. And just for me using it in a limited fashion, because again, I'm perfectly fine with the way that the M12 works. It 100% cuts anything that I need. I've even got the non-fuel version. I still use it from time to time for more finesse work because I can control it a little bit better. But to get that fuel version for $229, to use it just in the times wherever I want bigger runtime, didn't know that I necessarily wanted to do that. Now, they do have a non-fuel version for $99 with a small battery that's kind of in the same price range as this, but I don't like the blade change on it. I don't like some of the features on it, and I like some of the features on the Dewalt, so I decided to go this route. And again, this one here, compared to the Milwaukee, I think the blade change is probably a little bit easier. And this one has a trigger. It's one of the few multi-tools that I know of that has a trigger, where most of them have just an on-off button where you have it right here. You have to turn it on and turn it off. So if you actually get into something and you need to just turn the power off, you've got to slide down and do that. There's no, just letting go of the trigger, that kind of thing. Kind of the same thing I talked about with the M12 Jigsaw. That new fuel version when it came out, that D handle, or not the D handle, but the barrel grip. I don't like that as much as having a trigger on a Jigsaw as well. So whenever I saw this for $99, I thought, you know what? I can easily buy a battery adapter. This right here costs $9 or $10 on Amazon. It basically converts any Dewalt tool that you have. So you can slide this in there, and then you take your M18 battery, slide that in there. It doesn't really add that much bulk to the tool, and now I can run Dewalt tool using Milwaukee batteries. And in all reality, even though you would think that's going to make it a bigger tool, if we take the M12 with a high output battery on it, it's really not really that big of a difference between the two. If I hold them out there, it's not drastic. It's definitely a little bit bigger, but again, that's what I'm going for, is just being able to have a little bit more runtime. I can put my bigger M18 batteries in here. Even though they're both 5 amp hour batteries, this just tends to last a whole lot longer than what one of these does in that M12 tool. And I've had pretty good success with battery adapters. I've always had one for my Milwaukee tools into my Bosch tools. I've used this for a long time. I keep this in the back of my truck just to blow off sawdust and things like that on job sites. And I even leave this battery in this one, and it never runs it down. That's one thing that I will tell you to kind of take note of whenever you buy a battery adapter like this. You might want to kind of test it out, leave your battery in it for a little while, see if it drains any of the juice. I definitely wouldn't leave it like overnight or anything, because some of these tend to pull power out of your battery, and of course if it runs it down to dead, it's really bad for your battery at that point. So you got to be really careful with that. So again, I went ahead and bought the Dewalt because it was $99 for this kind of top of the line model that they have versus the $229 for the M18 fuel. And I prefer two features on this one. One of them, of course, like I just mentioned, being that trigger. The other being this blade change. You can see if I take this Milwaukee blade right here, I can open and close this just by pulling on that, slide the blade in there, let go of it. Now that blade's in there. That's that fast of a tool change. Super easy. The Milwaukee fuel ones aren't that bad. I think that $99 Milwaukee one, I think you might still have to use a wrench. Milwaukee, I've got to lift up on this lever, and then I've got to twist this out to loosen it. And then if I didn't have a blade in, I'm going to go ahead and put this new blade in because I'm going to cut some stuff here in a minute. Put that in, twist that to tight, and then pull that down, and that kind of tightens that up. So still tool free, just not quite as easy as I can just pull this lever down, slide my blades, you know, in and out and get them lined up with those grooves and let go of it. That's probably the fastest blade change that I've seen out there. There might be something else, but you know, again, I haven't used all of them. So again, just the trigger, the blade change alone, it was $99. Only thing I wish is that it wasn't this bright yellow color. I'm not a bright color tool fan. That's really why I don't even carry very many DeWalts. I don't like that yellow. Maybe I can dye that black or do something with that over time. But I'm gonna go ahead and show it to you cutting with the Milwaukee battery in it, just so you can get an idea of if it changes anything or not. So one of the things that I didn't mention about the Dewalt is it is a 3-speed. You've got speed 1, 2, and 3. There's a little switch right here. I'm going to put it on speed 3. I also borrowed a Dewalt battery from my buddy. This is a 4.0. I'm going to make a cut using that inside the tool, and then I'm going to swap over to the battery adapter with the M18. See if I notice any kind of a difference in feel or anything like that, or if the vibrations of this tool causes an issue with that adapter. That was something that I kind of worried about. And then I'll probably make a cut with the M12 as well, just for giggles, because I've got it out here. So again, speed 3, 4.0 DeWalt battery. I'm going to make a cut with that. This is just 3/4 trim boards. I'm going to move these off because it's going to vibrate probably quite a bit. Now we're going to make a cut. Plenty of power. That speed 3 maybe a little bit hard to control because it's quite a speed right there for cutting through something small with really no backing in it. But again, plenty of power. Be fine to use this for most of the things that I'm going to use it for. Again, the nice thing about it is if I'm in the middle of a cut, I can just let go of that trigger. It's going to stop. But that's with the Dewalt battery. Swap it over to the M18 in that battery adapter. I'm going to use it right there. Still on speed 3. I might have a hard time controlling this. We'll see. No noticeable difference to me. I'm going to go to speed 2. Plenty of power at speed 2. Speed 1. Started kicking on me at the end there a little bit, but again, no noticeable difference in my opinion. Using that battery adapter with the M18, I was again worried about the vibration of the tool, but all that feels like it's in there pretty snug, not going to be a problem. So that's the Dewalt. Let me go ahead and show you the M12 in case you haven't seen that in action before, because again, I think that this is a really powerful tool. I'm going to run it on speed 12. We'll run it through this. Same exact blade on this as what I have on the Dewalt as well. So here's the M12. Personally, I feel like it's by far the fastest, easiest to control. Everything about it I absolutely love about this tool. And again, it's still going to be my bread and butter oscillating tool. I just wanted a Dewalt one for the features that it has and for that bigger runtime using my M18 batteries. But yeah, guys, that is the Dewalt XR brushless oscillating tool. Part number on this one is DCS356. I'm running it with an M18 battery, so maybe if you've never thought about doing that before, but again, for 99 bucks, if you don't use those, you can sell that stuff. You'll get it even cheaper than that, or if you're running DeWalt, it's just an extra small battery to put in some other tool. But I feel like if you're running DeWalt and you don't have this tool, it's a for sure good deal to get that for 99 bucks. But also, if you're in another brand and you like these features, because again, I don't think these are really offered on many of the other brands, you can maybe find yourself a battery adapter for cheap. That way you don't have to get into a whole nother platform. It's just an option that's out there. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Again, it's on sale. Pretty good deal anyways, and this is what I'm doing with it. So hope it's helpful in some way. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. I'll see you in the next video.